Yo, today I'm going to talk about how deleting Snapchat has affected my life, and I'll give you the pros and cons based off of my experience in the past year. But before I get into that, I want to share some of my thoughts about Snapchat and my history with Snapchat. So I remember quite clearly the time that I finally decided to delete Snapchat. It was in April 2022, so last spring. I was at home for a few days because I was sick, and what I enjoy about being sick is that it's very peaceful. A lot of the times when I'm sick, I think, oh, how can I come out of this and cocoon and make my life better? That was when I decided to cut down on some things like Snapchat. I was like, I need to get rid of this. Why do I even use it? Because I'm not the type of person to go on Snapchat and actually enjoy it. I just had it because everyone else has it in high school. Snapchat was another place I spent my time. Almost like a home on my phone, like Instagram and TikTok. So it felt weird that it was just gone after I deleted it. Adjusting to that part was hard because I would have one less app to click on to occupy my time when I was bored or on the toilet, or even when I wasn't bored and I had work to do, but Snapchat was there to distract me, procrastinate. So that was the hard part. From when I'm making this video, it's almost been 10 months since I deleted Snapchat. And next fall, I'm going to be going to college, and I don't plan on re-downloading it when I get to campus, even though I know a lot of people will have it and a lot of kids connect through Snapchat. That's what I see happening. But I don't plan on re-downloading it because if I really want to connect with someone, I'll just get their phone number. But I respect people who use Snapchat too. Just for me though, I don't enjoy using Snapchat. It clogs my mind. Makes me feel like I'm just living outside of my own body. Alright, so I'll start with the cons. You won't be able to see your friends' Snapchat stories anymore. For me at least, it felt like I wasn't able to informally see what my friends were up to. Their dog is happy this morning. Little things like that you won't be able to see. You'll lose connection with people that you know to an extent, but you aren't too close with. And this might be a pro, but there may be people who you've met and thought were cool or chill and inspiring, but you don't get to see very often, maybe because of geographical reasons. So Snapchat is a way to have connection. So deleting Snapchat, there's some people who you cut off the only way of connection with. Something that happened to me a lot after I deleted Snap was that people ask me for my Snap, and every time I have to explain that I don't use Snap. And some people actually get offended by that because, oh, this kid does not want to add me on Snap. But it's I'm telling the truth. One of the things that I used it a lot for was group chats to sort of plan things with my friends. So you will have to remind your friends to make a iMessage group chat if you don't have one already, because a lot of my friends would just use Snap. So you can send goofy photos, whereas iMessage seems a little bit more formal. If you have close friends, you have to ask them to make iMessage group chats, get everyone to go into messages to make plans. So that's kind of it's I gotta do all this now, and that's something that'll hold you back from actually wanting to delete Snapchat forever. You're oh, it's so much easier with group chats. You will find out who actually cares enough about you to remember that you don't have Snap anymore, to actually go on messages and text you, or use group chat on messages instead of Snapchat, because they remember that you're not on Snapchat anymore. And the final con of my list is you may feel uneasy at first, like a part of you is missing. When you go on your phone and plan to open up Snapchat to see who snapped you, but there isn't anything there, it will be very tempting to want to re-download Snapchat again, especially in the first few weeks or days. You may feel that deleting Snapchat is not making you happier or more productive because you feel agitated and irritated by not having the app anymore. This is just from my experience. Not everyone's a fidgety kid like me. But if you get through the first month without relapsing, the hardest part will be over. So the pros. You will spend less time on your phone and you will be more present in your day-to-day moments. So I was never the type of person to take photos of where I was. I would do that sometimes, but I didn't really take photos, oh, I'm in the fucking bathroom. My point is, I found that after deleting Snapchat, the pressure of doing that, of taking photos, showing that I'm with these people, or that I'm like at this sports game, I didn't want to do that anymore. Like I stopped thinking about Snapchat all the time and was able to enjoy just being where I was. Deleting Snapchat freed me of this back thought in my mind of wanting to document where I was, who I was with, even though I wasn't the person to do that in the first place. Next one. You will care less of what other people think about you. Like, especially if you're in school, like I was last year. You sort of like know a lot of people, but you're not that close with a lot of people because of school. And you're just with a bunch of people every day. You see them all the time. So you have like people's snaps. By deleting Snapchat, you won't feel the need to maintain this image of yourself to people who don't really know you that well. Like kids you just see walking by all the time. Because if you have them on Snap, then you feel like closer to them, but in an artificial way. And it's kind of draining. The next one is you will free up some space in your mind. So after a few weeks, the part of my mind that usually craves and waits for Snapchat notifications faded away. And I then knew that all the messages I needed to see would be in iMessage. Because if someone wanted to talk to me, that's like the only place they could reach out to me. I had and I still have notifications off for pretty much everything except for iMessage. So even on Instagram, like if someone really needed to reach out to me, I wouldn't get like a notification. There's some like space freed up. I won't have to be thinking about like, oh, DMs and then Snapchat. So if someone needs anything or wants to talk, then it'll be on messages. And this goes into the next pro. You will gain an awareness of who is actually a close friend to you. Who are the friends that think about you outside of Snapchat? You might realize you don't actually have any really close friends. And that may be sad, but it's valuable to know that over having your energy spent through superficial connections on Snapchat. I'm kind of a loner, and I realized that after deleting Snapchat that I was only close with like 4 people. Since I'm just like so closed off, not purposefully. I was sort of the kid that knew everyone and like talking to everyone, but didn't have any really close friends besides the few number that I mentioned. And the final pro, you will feel more mature and at peace with yourself just in general. It's very abstract, but that's the only way I can describe it. I just feel a little bit more like relaxed without Snapchat. So those are the pros and cons from deleting Snapchat based on my experience. And as a final point, I want to make it clear that not everyone who uses Snap is affected the same way, the way that I was, and that I like talked about, which was like generally pretty negative. Some people can use Snapchat, and I know people who use Snapchat without much negative impact on their social, academic, or physical life. For some people, it doesn't matter. Snapchat's just not for me.